We just got some numbers out of Pierce County, just dropped some of the results. We're going to begin with the race for Tacoma mayor, and this is a wide open field. So let's go ahead and look at that first graphic if we can, because I think there are 5 or 6 candidates vying to replace Victoria Woodards, who cannot run again because she has basically, because of the rules, she can't run for another term. This is where we stand right now. And I don't know, actually, based on talking with you earlier, Patrick, this is exactly what you thought it would be, those top 2.
Yes, so Ibsen and Hines are coming in as the top 2, but we see, I'm really surprised by Haverly and Stevens' performance. They were not coming in with a lot of money. Haverly was coming in with only about $13,000 raised. Stevens was coming in with about $21,000 raised, and we're comparing that to Ibsen, which had brought in about $167,000, and Hines had raised $174,000.
But Haverly did run in 2021 and finished second to Woodards. I believe I saw that. So I mean, he does have some name recognition as well.
Right. And Stevens is a blogger down there who's been covering it. So they've been in the water. But when we're going in, we only really have our endorsements, and we only have fundraising to give us a clue about what is going to happen. And so we were expecting I was at least expecting a much bigger lead by Ibsen and by Hines than what we're seeing here.
Speaking of, I want to get to King 5's Connor Board, Pierce County Bureau Chief. She's got Hines with her. Connor, go ahead. What does John Hines have to say tonight?
Yeah, right now I'm with current council member John Hines, who of course is running for Tacoma mayor, and right now you're in second place right now with about 20% of the vote. Tell me, how are you feeling this evening with these first results coming down?
Yeah, it's still really early. I think we're going to see a lot more come in the next day or two, but I'm very happy to be in the second place and to be moving on to the general election. I think we've done a really good job communicating with voters, and I think going from 6 people in a race to just 2, I think it's going to give me a real opportunity to continue to reach out to more people and get there.
And last week we talked and you told me that you think the 2 biggest challenges facing Tacoma are homelessness and public safety. Do you plan on honing in on those over the next few months? And what do you think you will do as mayor, if you're elected mayor, to address those issues?
Yeah, no, I think it's a great question. It's what I'm hearing the most from people indoors, about the community. Those are the 2 issues that are rising to people's, top people's minds. So I'm going to continue to focus on that throughout the campaign. As the mayor, I mean, it's continuing to, as we talked before, about, making sure we have enough police officers, and then beyond that, kind of building on our alternative response models. And then for homelessness, it's continuing to find shelter, housing services for people, and kind of working with my colleagues to identify funding for those sources.
And then just tell me, what's your message tonight to both the people who voted for you and those people who didn't vote for you in the primary?
Yeah, no, this campaign the entire time has been about a vision for the city of Tacoma, a brighter future, right? And I've been really clear about focusing on why I think I should be the next mayor. And I'm very happy that where we've landed, and I look forward to more conversations with voters about why I think I'm the right person to lead going forward.
And then something else you did mention was a focus on activating downtown. Yeah. What are ways you would plan to do that?
I think we're starting first with our business partners that are down there and the businesses that are down there to get, find out what their issues are, what they've identified as barriers to people coming downtown, and really leaning in on that. I think kind of taking a real focus on some critical issues, areas down there, some infrastructure improvements, and I think we can really see it take off.
Perfect. Thank you so much for speaking with us tonight. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And then coming up later, we will check in with Anders Ibsen as well. And stay tuned. We'll be following Tacoma's mayor's race throughout the night tonight on King 5. Back to you guys.
All right, Connor, thank you. We want to talk about a couple more council positions in Tacoma before we run out of time here. Council position 4, here we are. That one's a lot tighter than what we've seen so far, Patrick.
Yeah, but I do think we see another theme continuing. If we look at the races in Seattle, we see the candidates endorsed by the Tribune and the Stranger doing well. Here, if we're looking at the News Tribune and the Urbanist, the candidates that they were endorsing in the Tacoma races seem to be are candidates that are advancing there. So that's setting up sort of a leading progressive, leading centrist sort of model that we saw playing out in Seattle.
Position 5 is a little wider, as I'm looking at the numbers over here. Bushnell's got a much bigger lead here. The second one's still maybe not up for grabs. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think Bushnell's coming in a very strong position. Cook was endorsed by the Urbanist. So we see the strength of the endorsement playing out. Bushnell is one of the few candidates we've seen so far where there's a kind of competitive race where the candidate being endorsed by the more central, the more centrist-oriented indicators is performing well, performing strongly.
And we've got the council position 6. This is the at-large position for the entire city, and this is the one that Kara Daniels was appointed to deputy mayor, and so she vacated this, and this is fairly well. That's a three-way.
Yeah, it's definitely a three-way race. We're going to have to see how later votes come in. Perez was also endorsed by the Urbanist. So I think we're going to want to watch and see if she benefits from some of that late pickup. Johnson was endorsed by the News Tribune. So we could see an interesting, I think that's the most interesting race we want to cue in on here in the next few days outside of the mayor's race here in Tacoma.
Again, these are very early numbers. In the process, we get that first big dump of votes, and then you kind of have to wait. So a lot more could shake out here, but a lot of those races were pretty semi-decided at this point.